Good morning, Namaste, Alina.
Namaste, Dhaya. Namaste. Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a new episode.
Yes, yes. Happy to be here as well.
Great. So, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
For sure, for sure. So, my name is Alina. I'm from Ukraine, and now I live in Canada, in Montreal. I do many things. I teach English. I translate from Chinese into Ukrainian. I do yoga. I practice, and I met Dhaya for the first time in China, where I also lived before coming to Canada. So this is how I got in contact with you.
Great. Thank you. So, which question do you have today?
Okay, so actually, yes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions.
You prepared.
Yes, everything is prepared. And so I guess to start with, to warm up, my first question. So I have asked this question before, but maybe today you can articulate more on this subject, and I think that it will be this question will be interesting not only for me but for all the practitioners. So my first question is the importance of the teacher. Is it essential for a practitioner to have a teacher for his or her spiritual growth?
Most everybody is asking about.
Oh, really? I'm not original. Okay.
Just different way to present it. This is just different way. So it's interesting,
Okay. Okay.
Some they say not about the teacher, but about the stage, and can you get it by yourself, or you need a teacher, or
Okay.
So maybe I'm going to reverse the question to you.
Okay, sure. Yes, go for it.
What I will say just as a testimony, for you being by yourself, and when you have the contact with the teacher, what difference does it make?
A big difference.
What is the difference?
The difference is the speed. Is the you basically, first of all, you save a big amount of time in your practice, because when you have the teacher and when you have the direct contact with the teacher sees through you and can correct you really fast. So it's like he or she becomes you and you become him. I don't know, it's like there is this contact, and you are basically see what your teacher sees from within, and this way you are able to correct yourself. And when I was practicing alone, yes, you do it. Maybe you collect a little bit of knowledge from there, and then you apply it. Then you collect a little bit of knowledge from another place, and then you apply it. If you have one person, five. Okay, so this you will cut. Okay, my thought is going all over the place.
No problem.
So basically, when you have the teacher, first of all, you have a good contact with him, and this person can guide you through, and you save a big amount of time. Maybe in order to perform one practice, you need, let's say, 4 months. If you have a teacher, you need 2 weeks. Okay, so it saves a lot of time. Yeah, and personally, me, I think maybe we don't have much time, so you need to kind of mobilize and optimize yourself.
So just to put things in context, Alina, I know that you study yoga a lot, and you're also a teacher, So you are also speaking from this point of view. you know, not only as a beginner. So as a beginner, it's even more important because that's where you establish the foundation. So when the foundation is solid, then you progress faster and you don't have to come back, you know.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, now maybe the people might not understand completely, you know, that we say, okay, teacher, you do yoga, it's positions and all this, you know, in the correct position. But what was your experience? Is it only the position, or what is happening inside you? How does it affect your life after, when you had, for example, with me, the interaction, you know, and where I am helping you to progress in your practice?
So yes, you're right. It's not only like, I mean, I learned things from different like means of practice with you. So sometimes I learn things by just observing you. So I learn a lot by just observing. Then sometimes when we have just talks, I also learn a lot. And when we have classes with you, when I have classes with you, then you are like, yes, you're correct in my poses, and you're correct in my breathing, and etc. So I learn from this as well. So basically, just in my experience, the whole experience I have with you influences me in a way. And after this influence, everything, it's like readjusting, and I see the world differently, like this.
Great, thank you. So, you know, in relation to your question, I think this interaction was more valuable than me speaking as a teacher.
Yeah, I hope the viewers will be able to pick up the information.
Yes, no
I was
problem.
trying to.
No, no problem.
Okay.
So
It was the warm-up question. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
The warm-up. Okay, so my second question then. So is becoming a monk or a nun necessary for a spiritual growth? Because, you know, living my normal life, going to work, I can practice, but feels like I practice it part-time. Yeah, because like I still need to, you know, pay the bills and etc. And let's say you become a monk, you become a nun, you don't have to worry. Is it better for one's spiritual growth?
Well, just to start the topic, I would like to bring back to one student I have, you know, and she's been a monk, a nun for more than 15 years since she was a kid, you know. And then she decided that the monastery life is not peaceful.
Okay. It's not peaceful. It's not.
No, it's like they go, oh, yeah, you know. And I see it so many times, you know, when I travel through Asia and been in many monasteries, all this, and all. Human being is human being, you know. If you see the true meaning of being a monk, you can be a monk anywhere. But a monk is like renunciation. It means like you have rules that you do vows, but you will not do that, you will not do that, do that. This is what is monk or nun, you know. So when you have rules, you put limitation. You know. Anyway, I didn't finish the phrase from the student that I have. She was a nun for a long time, and then when she saw that it's not what she understands from the path as a Buddhist nun, you know, is not really applied within the monastery life, you know. So I think it's a big illusion, you know. And because you have all, you know, as a nun, all these ladies talking about this, blah, 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 the emotional conflict, this, it's a human being, you know, like when you gather people together, it's always the same dynamic. You can be in a society or you can be in a monastery, it's the same. The only difference that in a monastery, you're going to have rules, you know, or you cannot do that, or at this time you have to go practice. But if you go practice and you have to sleep, there's no point.
It's true.
You know, the only difference is that you have some motivation because you are in the wave, you know. So then some moments where your practice is going to be good because you have the help of a surrounding. But then at the end of a life, unless you have decided after to retrieve from the monastery and maybe go in isolation in a retreat and realize what you have to realize, and then after come back and put in action what you have realized, you know, within yourself, then you're not free if you don't come to this point. And this is very rare. There's not many monks and nuns who come to this point, to this stage. It's very, very rare. So in the same way that it is rare into daily life, you know. It's all a question how you integrate things in life, you know. Of course, when we come to a point of inner knowledge and understanding, there's no more a question of good and bad, dark or light, you know. We understand that every aspect of manifestation in life is part of a field of realization. No, not even the right word, because I don't think there's any really realization to achieve, you know, because it is in us always. It's just a question to be able to be aware of the space, of the state within ourselves. It's funny because I am speaking now because I had someone before you, Alina, asking some question in this, and I got all this and a couple other people before this week, and I'm feeling all the mind now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, it's interesting to observe actually, you know. Because you are the first one to ask in relation to be a nun or monk, but so then, but many questions merge into one and the other, which is interesting to see, you know. So I'm trying to see in relation to your question, what will be the best answer in supplement to what I just mentioned, because now I was drifting into another topic, I felt, you know.
I mean, I kind of got the idea, to be honest, that like, you know, if you want, you can, right? Like you can just go and try it. But in the end, you will also like have rules, and you will basically you will have more time to dedicate yourself fully. But in the end, it doesn't mean that it will be efficient, kind of thing.
Yeah, more time, I don't know, because you know, in monastery there's many calls to you know, many things to do, you know. Everyone is responsible. Maybe you might be responsible in cooking, maybe you might be responsible to welcome some of the guests or visitors, or maybe you're working in the office also, you know. So it's the same, you know.
Like it's the same thing, basically.
Yeah, you have job also to do because you have to run all the things.
I wanted to escape, yeah.
Yeah. The only way is if you become a hermit.
Okay.
You know, then it's different. Then you are full time. You know, even if I'm back in south of France with family house and land, and I'm looking for my practice. You know, okay, I'm doing things also online. I'm trying to put another course together. You know, online. So this is like job in some ways, you know, but I take it as a practice because it's connected to my practice. But then I'm looking also, okay, the land, it needs to be clean, it needs to be there's some walls that need to be reviewed, there's some trees that need to be trimmed, there is a space I need to arrange if people are coming. So this is all and I'm looking at this to say, okay, you know, you get into that, you have no time for the real practice, but the practice is this also. So it's a balance. So no matter what you do in life, you're always going to be confronted at the same thing. Even if you live as an hermit, up in the mountains, you know that in the winter it's going to be cold, and you have to prepare some wood for the winter. So you have to go in the forest, you have to collect the wood, you have to pile up, you have to maybe prepare for some food to store, So unless you have an attendant, like many yogis are, the yoginis, they had attendant and people are bringing what is required, But today, no much happening in this direction, unless you go to Himalayas or or some places in Asia. But in the Western society,
yeah, no one will bring you anything.
So no matter what kind of life you have, you're always going to be facing same things.
Okay.
It's all come down to how much dedication you put yourself to the path, how much discipline you're going to create. And of course, you can choose a busy life or a less busy life, because this is also your choice. You don't need to work 10 hours a day. You can create life for yourself where you work 5 hours and manage. But then also it means your material things is less.
Sure.
So it's all a question of choice. So it's not a question, be a nun or a monk is better. It's your attitude inside and what you choose and how you direct your life.
Understood. Okay. Shall we proceed to the third question? Yes. How much time we have? Because I have 3 more questions.
Yeah, I think we're okay now.
Yeah, okay. So my second question is about ego. A lot of so you read in books, okay? They say that basically we need to get rid of ego. It's like it's an obstacle and we don't need it. My question is, do we really need to get rid of it, or can we make friends with it and use it somehow?
Makes friends and use it for sure.
Yeah, okay.
the ego, today has been many people put many things on the back of the ego. Okay. And in some ways, the ego is like carrying this big load, Oh, this is ego, and there's like more in my language. It's like it's getting more heavy and more heavy and more heavy, And instead to make him lighter, so you can even fly, If you say, okay, it's the ego, it's still a load that you carry on yourself, because you didn't get rid of what is the problem, You just put it back on the ego side.
I see.
But if you understand really this power of ego within yourself, you can use it for good things. And then every time it's used for good things, it's become lighter. And it's not carrying anymore anything in it that weighs you and slow you down, So the ego, we can say, is a force. If you want to learn a topic, you say, oh, I want to achieve that. Well, it could be say, okay, the ego wants to achieve that. Then if you say, oh, no ego, then you achieve nothing. But if you allowed it to walk through consciously, then this force, that can be called the ego or other names, can be used at the service of evolution.
Okay. Understood. Yeah. So basically, you should see ego as you said, as a force that you can learn how to, how would I say it? How to tame it and how to live.
It's a force. It's a force that you have to put at your service. It's not you that's serving the ego.
Okay.
Many people, they're serving the ego, so they are not. I don't like to say controlling, but they are not mastering themselves. They are just give the power away to the ego. Here, no, we know that this force is there. It's part of us. It will always be there. It's not something that we can repress, deny. But instead of that, we learn how it is working inside ourselves. And how can we use it? Because it is there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next question is, okay. Is there a final destination in your spiritual growth, or can I expand? Like, basically, is there a limit somewhere? Is there a line, a stop, a place where I can say, "Phew, I've done it"?
There's two answers.
Okay.
That I can think about. You know, the first answer is yes, there is a place that you can stop.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you remain in your true nature, what we call natural state, what we call a Tao state, what we call a divine within, or the things like this, or the Christ within, you know. So this is a place, this is your home.
Mm-hmm.
So in this home, you can rest. You know, so you are home, then you don't need to do anything but just remaining there. You know? But around this home in our body, you know, this home is everywhere, inside the body, around the body. But let's say symbolically, you know, we achieve this place inside where it is this state. But still, we have some imprints about our past lives, about the action we've been doing, about why we are on this planet to realize, you know. And we have a physical body that is connected to 5 elements, you know. And that creates the matter. So we cannot say we are just into this essence beyond matter, because we're still in physical body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we are home once we are in this essence, in this natural state or Tao state or else. But we have the 5 elements in this body here on earth. So these 5 elements, for some people, are more or less purified, more or less healthy, you know, and for some people they have more karmic imprint than others. Okay, of course, if you are in the natural state, you have no more karmic influence. You are not generating any more karma, but you might have to purify some stuff from the past that are still imprint in the physical body. You know, so then the work without effort, I really say the work without effort continue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if only if you are in the natural state.
Okay.
And then all the way, you know, to the time you die physically and you transform the body into rainbow body, because this is dissolution of the 5 elements into light that forms the rainbows. You know, so even to come there, just to sit and without effort and remain in the presence, it's not sufficient, because we are influenced too much with outside energies that are going to affect the 5 elements. So we need to maintain all this in order. So then there's no end in this sense.
Okay.
But there is end when you are in your home.
Okay. Understood. Understood.
Okay. It's hard coming. I didn't know you could do that.
Sorry?
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. And how much time do we have?
Yes, continue. I tell you.
Okay, then my last question then. It's personal question.
That's good.
Yes. So after all these years,
yes,
of studying and practicing, what does your practice consist of right now? What do you personally practice? What do you do?
Yeah, there's different phases, because right now I'm putting together a course online. So I'm going back into some practices. So I felt I'm staying in this energy to be able to make the course. Okay. So now I'm working on the Kuan Yin, Tao and Tantra course.
Okay.
So then of course, I'm practicing more of these practices, because this is what I'm going to transmit, you know. So if I'm teaching a specific topic, especially connected to physical practices, I will practice this for some more to go back into it. You know, it's like when I did the Dragon Buddha online course, I was fully immersed into that. So then, of course, my let's say personal practice is a bit less, because this is coming. But the way to approach is still the same from what I am aligned with. You know? So despite this, you know, my main practice is mainly the practice of Dzogchen, you know, with the practice of Trekchö and Togal. This is my main practice, you know. Let's say Trekchö is like integrating the natural state in every aspect of manifestation of life, you know. And you have recognized, you have no doubt this is it. So you're not letting anything else take over. If you lose it, you recognize it and you go back. You know, it's just like going back home all the time. In relation to what we spoke before. And the Togal practice is a practice connected with the light, you know, developing the vision, so you understand they are part of your own manifestation, your own dimension, and you integrate that. And after physically, I do a different practice in relation to help my body, because you know, it's because I am very sensible to energies. My joints and tendons move around a lot, and I have to do work. So it can be some practices from Tao. You know, I like to practice Tai Chi, Qigong, and then some of the yogas like the Dragon Buddha yoga. You know, or some practice from a Tsalung practice. It depends time and periods. You know. And then integrating the state, like playing Gujing or doing other things like this, or being in close to nature and just being there with the elements. There's so many different ways to integrate, you know, the state in whatever else you're doing. You know. And I find, for example, if I am able to play Gujing and remain in the state all through it, you know, not one thought, you know, it's just like go and play. This is like, wow, what a very good practice, you know, because it requires a lot of skills in some ways, even if maybe my musical skills not very good, but my playing, remaining in the state is much better than my musical skills. But it's okay. That's what is important for me. I don't care, you know. I work on it, you know, it's like the best we can, you know. But it's all in the vibration, how things get transmitted. Does that answer your question?
Yes, fully.
Okay, great, Alina. Yeah. If you have just something short again, we can do. Otherwise, we can call it now.
No, I had another question that I kept. I didn't know whether I should ask it or not, because I didn't know how to put it in words. Like I had this idea of a question.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's gonna take me time to like I'll try to explain what I mean with this question. Basically, can meditation, because meditation has a lot of positive effects, yeah, like you are, I mean, you are less attached, you are more aware, you are becoming very sensitive, etc. But can it lead to the opposite direction when you become too sensitive? and it like, I don't know, it's not comfortable after. You become too detached, like to the point that you're becoming indifferent person.
Yeah.
Can it lead to this as well?
Yeah. if you become indifferent, it means that you didn't understand the teachings. Okay, that's why it's very important to have teachings. You know, today meditation is there and there. You can, many people are starting to teach meditation, but they don't have much background. You know, they pick it up there and there and there. They make a package deal and throw it out, you know. And then they say, okay, you're going to become a meditation teacher and you learn 100 techniques, you know. So they are becoming like more meditation for some kind of well-being, you know. Maybe, or unless some people get lost into that, you know. If you are becoming detached to a point that you don't care about things, then it means you are not on the path. This is wrong, you know. And this is ego-centered, actually, right? And the meditation today, like I say, is like so many different topics. The way that we speak the meditation, first of all, is not, I would say, understood for what it is, right? Even, you know, yeah, it's becoming more like a relaxation thing, or yeah, I don't want to be there to judge anything, but you know, you have to understand that meditation by itself, depending on the techniques you use, it has to stay in this context from the teachings, because it has other element that comes with it, you know. It has a, you know, yeah. So it's not like, okay, I just take the technique of meditation, I separate it from everything else, and then that's it. And then after, what you say might happen. You know, or you are lost in some dimensions or whatever, you know, and you think you are meditating, you think you are great, but actually you're totally lost. So then in your life you are not becoming you are not grounded anymore. So it becomes very negative, even dangerous, because maybe you are driving the car and you go out of body and then you have an accident and you die. But this is not meditation, you know. But today many people think, you know, okay, I meditate, I sit, I go out of my body, you know, and then I experience all kinds of fantasies and all this. And then after in daily life, it's a disaster. So yes, in this sense, it's not positive because no teaching with it.
So basically, you need a teacher.
Yes, or you need to apply at least the methods in the context that there are, you know, if you don't have a teacher and if you read a book, but it is well explained, at least, you know. But in general, at the beginning, a teacher is very important. Once you have your foundation and everything, okay, you can fly, you know what you have to do. You have no doubts and you just continue. It's just a question of time and you realize. Good. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it answers.
Great. Okay, Alina. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you
and
very much.
If anyone wants to join the platform, please, reach out to me.